man, they need to win that division. Now that the Bucks lose Godwin for the year, my guess is Mike Evans is out for a couple weeks. Hey, Falcons, this is your year. Please go win the division. This is your year.
You're tuned in to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, guiding your gridiron journey, none other than your host, former NFL lineman, Ross Tucker.
Oh, yeah, it is. But it's not just any Ross Tucker Football Podcast. It is a Power Rankings Tuesday, presented, of course, by DraftKings. We've got two games last night to discuss that were both eventful and interesting for different reasons. We'll get to that momentarily. And then one of my favorite days of the week, because I get a chance to talk about every single team, including your team, and let you know where I think they stack up compared to the other teams in the NFL. You guys know the drill. I don't really care that much about their record. To me, it's like if the team above them and the team below them played a best-of-7 series right now in my backyard or Wichita, Kansas, and I don't know why I always pick Wichita, Kansas, this is who I think would win the majority, win that series, if you will. The Ross Series, not the World Series, the Ross Series for my power rankings. I have once again forgotten to pick a spread the word winner via social media at Ross Tucker Pod, or a sponsor confirmation email winner, someone taking advantage of any of these codes, westshorehome.com/Ross or the Game Time app or whatever, or the YouTube shout out, youtube.com/Ross Tucker NFL. At this point, it's pretty laughable. I'm a joke. And at some point, maybe I'll actually remember. Although I got to be honest with you, all of the blame goes to Jack for not reminding me. I think that we all know at this point it's all Jack's fault. I'm kidding. Although shout out to my play-by-play guy Sunday night for Westwood One, who went to bat not once but twice for Jack during the Steelers-Jets broadcast Sunday night, defending Jack's honor on the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. Pretty cool to have a play-by-play guy like Ryan Radke, who, by the way, is awesome at what he does. Mark my words, you will be seeing him calling NFL games on TV at some point. He's that good, if he wants to do it. Love that he's a listener. Love diving into these games. Big Show time.
The Big Show.
All right, Ross, the Baltimore Ravens, their offense probably had their best performance to date, but that game was pretty overshadowed by some Bucs injuries and a 41-31 Ravens win.
Wild game. By the way, both of the thoughts on last night's games presented by Labatt Blue Light. You know why? Because I had 3 Labatt Blue Lights while I was watching those games last night. I don't get to do that very often. Just sit in my house and watch a couple games. That was fun. Living life to the power of me. Always enjoy responsibly. It's delicious beer. Just so tasty. Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York. So the Ravens-Bucks game was wild because the Bucks came out sort of on fire, and they go right down the field, touchdown, Baker Mayfield just lighting up the Ravens defense. Ravens seemingly can't even get lined up at times, have no answer for the Bucks passing game. Then the Bucks come down, they do it again, but then this was one of the, I would say there were 2 major turning points in the game. This wasn't a turning point, but this was significant, Jack. Baker puts a perfect pass to Mike Evans. He re-injures or aggravates his hamstring while he's making the catch. And as a result, he drops it. So they lose the touchdown there. But then they score a touchdown anyway. I can't remember who, but whoever scored the touchdown, they called a hold on Tristan Wirfs. That was very disappointing. It was not a hold. So the Bucks settled for a field goal instead of a touchdown. But they were still up 10-0 at that point. And it felt like they were rolling. Felt like the Ravens didn't have an answer. Well, after that, Bucks didn't score again. till it was 34-10 Ravens. The Ravens scored 34 unanswered points after that, and it was a lot of Lamar Jackson. One of the best games I've ever seen him play. I don't know, you probably know the stats, Jack. He had 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. I think he had, 5 touchdowns and 5 incompletions. He also ran 9 times for 52 yards. He is once again playing at an MVP level, finding Andrews open for touchdowns, throwing bombs to Rashad Bateman. I'm surprised, especially with the Bucs getting Antoine Winfield Jr. back and Vita Vea and these guys, that they couldn't do it. They were powerless to stop them. It looked like, though, the Bucs are going to be able to keep going score for score. Baker Mayfield, who I love, and who Ryan Fitzpatrick made it very clear last week he loves, 2 very costly interceptions. The first one, they were in it was goal-to-go situation. Had time, tried to force it in there, and Marlon Humphrey had an interception. Then I think it might have been the very next series. Same thing. Marlon Humphrey picks him off as the Bucs are in Ravens territory. That was kind of the game at that point. Kudos to the Bucs for making a game of it late. I mean, the Bucs ended up coming all the way back after an onside kick. They had the ball down 10 with like a minute and a half left, and then Chris Godwin, one of the most respected players in the NFL, leading the NFL in statistics, having a great year, suffered a gruesome dislocated ankle. I always think it's interesting, broadcast networks not showing it. I don't know. I always feel like that's your job, is to say what's going on in the game, and that you could say, hey, we're going to show a graphic injury here. If you're squeamish or whatever, don't watch. But they didn't. Dr. Chow, Pro Football Doc, Sports Injury Central, they posted it. Just awful, awful, awful for the Bucs. Not only do they get the loss of Godwin is probably even worse.
In the other game, the Cardinals, they get the win at buzzer in a back-and-forth battle with the Chargers, 17-15.
Low-scoring game, which is interesting because I felt like, there were some big plays for both. Kyler Murray had like a 50-yard touchdown run where Junior Colson, the rookie linebacker for the Chargers, got a heck of a welcome to the NFL moment. Watch that play, Jack. Watch the angle Junior Colson takes to get Kyler Murray when he runs it, and watch Kyler Murray hold the ball up and know he's got like a 50-yard touchdown, and Junior Colson's like 3 yards away from him. I mean, it's got to be nice to be that confident and know you're that fast. But Junior Colson, hey, Junior, this is the fastest quarterback you've ever gone against, buddy. I can appreciate it. He's got a different level of burst right there. That was a welcome to the NFL moment for Junior Colson. Kyler had a really nice throw to Dortch for a touchdown. And then it was my guy, James Conner. I absolutely adore James Conner. Always have, always will. Had another 100 yards, had a couple catches. And then the big one was the 33-yard catch and run in the fourth quarter for the game-winning field goal. For the Chargers, Herbert played awesome. The guys dropped some balls. Jalen Reagor, yes, that Jalen Reagor fumbles a ball out of the end zone for a touchback near the goal line. You can't do things like that and hope to win. The Chargers, that's one, at the end of the year, when we're talking about these teams, that is one that we will remember and we will talk about. The Chargers losing that very, very winnable game when their quarterback played awesome. When your quarterback plays awesome, you need to win that game. Before we get to the power rankings, Jack, I want to make it very clear everyone knows the place to get tickets for any event. It's the Game Time app. In fact, I'm doing Ravens at Browns for CBS on Sunday. As you can see, those of you watching on YouTube, youtube.com/Ross Tucker NFL, you can get tickets. You can get in for $35. There's really nice seats down low for $206, $194. Here's what I do. I have the all-in pricing, which includes the fees. That is huge. And you can see the panoramic view from your seat. That technology is amazing. Huge fan of the app because of the game time guarantee. If you get something better, they'll credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code ROSS for $20 off your purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code ROSS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. Absolutely no I in football, and Smirnoff knows that. It's a we thing. We experience it together. Tailgates, watching at a friend's house. Smirnoff's the world's #1 vodka, official vodka partner in the NFL, and they're giving fans in select areas of the country a chance to win the ultimate game day experience, from tickets to sideline passes and so much more. Just head to WeDoGameDays.com until November 15th to enter for your chance to win. Smirnoff, We Do Game Days. Please drink responsibly. Smirnoff number 21 vodka, distilled from grain, 40% alcohol by volume. The Smirnoff Company, New York, New York. Please do not share with anyone under legal drinking age. No purchase necessary. 21 plus. End 11/15/24. See rules at website for participating area and other important details. Sponsored by Diageo Americas Incorporated, New York, New York.
It's time for the all-important Power Rankings. The worst team in the history of the NFL is...
Move to the power rankings, Ross. 32nd is the New England Patriots.
Well, they got smoked by the Jags, who are also a bottom 10 team. So, there's nothing that the Patriots did to deserve to move up at this point.
31st is the Carolina Panthers.
So, the defense is comically bad, and now the offense isn't holding up their end of the bargain. So that's a pretty bad combo.
30th is the Titans.
I guess with Mason Rudolph, they got off to a good start, and that's a positive, but they still lost by 24 points. And it felt like they could count on their defense. It felt like their defense had played pretty well this year, but now it's like, even those guys, I think at some point, even if you're really good on one side of the ball, you eventually just kind of crumble when the other side of the ball can't get anything done. It's like the weight of it, the burden.
29th is Cleveland Browns.
So the Browns, we record this really early on Tuesday mornings, but the Browns just made a move. They're signing Bailey Zappi off the Chiefs practice squad. Deshaun Watson done for the year. And then DTR has this hand injury. So it sounds like the Browns need another option at quarterback. They need another guy that could go in the game Sunday, which, by the way, I'll be there. That's my game for CBS. The Ravens at the Browns. So it sounds like there's a decent chance it's Jameis Winston time, because even if DTR is okay, how many reps is he even getting this week?
Another team dealing with injuries is the Saints at 28.
They're a bad team. They signed MVS because they're so down at receiver. They needed somebody. He's sort of their answer, a poor man's Rashid Shaheed. Since Shaheed's done for the year, you bring in MVS, and he gives you at least the same type of player, if not, nearly as good, obviously.
27th, New York Giants.
So the Giants dropped, 1, 2, 3, 4 spots. They're not good. I mean, I thought they were better watching them against the Eagles, really watching them these last 2 games. Their offense, even with Malik Neighbors, totally inept. They couldn't move the ball at all against the Eagles. It was embarrassing. And their defense is pretty good, but they're not it's not like the 85 Bears. And again, they almost go into the Titans category of succumbing to the weight of the other end of the other side of the ball not being able to hold up their end of the bargain.
Miami Dolphins, 26.
Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins 26. I know they lost the game. They might have been the better team against the Colts if Huntley doesn't get hurt. And it sounds very likely that Tua Tagovailoa is coming back this week. He had made some very strong comments, Jack, about, it's my choice. I love football, to the death of me. He compared it to boxing and ice hockey. Totally his life, totally his choices. I didn't love some of the comments he made because I feel like they were certainly comments made, from a 26-year-old perspective, I would say, as opposed to someone maybe with a little bit more perspective or wisdom. And as I might have said yesterday, I don't know if I did or not, Jack, I think it's okay to say I'm not really looking forward to watching him play. I don't want to see him get another concussion.
25th is the Las Vegas Raiders.
The Raiders. So they lose Aiden O'Connell for 4 to 6 weeks now with a broken thumb. I mean, does it matter? I mean, it probably helps them, right? I mean, Gardner Minshew is a better option for them to win games than Aiden O'Connell anyway. So if they're trying to win football games, here's what we know. Aiden O'Connell's not the long-term guy. They're going to draft the guy, and Minshew gives him a better chance to quarterback. So unless you don't want to win games, this is good. If you want to lose for a better draft choice, this is bad.
Jacksonville Jaguars, 24th.
There's a lot of bad teams, Jack. When this year's Jaguars are 24th, that's bad. That's a bad sign. But they won again. What was that? 2 wins in the last 3 or 4 weeks, I guess. And they won handily, and their quarterback's healthy and played decent. I don't know. I think they're better than these other teams below them right now, at least.
23rd is the LA Rams.
Rams had a win. They played Thursday night against the Vikings, right? That's the Thursday night game?
That I am not sure of exactly, but I can get you an answer by the time you're done.
That's the Thursday night game. At any rate, it is because it's Cooper Kupp. That's a juicy matchup. The Rams getting back Kupp, and then eventually getting back Nakua. The question there is, can they get back to being in this thing? And I guess the answer is they probably can. That was a big win for them to get. Although I don't really see them beating the Vikings, but with Cooper Kupp, if they could get that win, then you'd really feel like, okay, they got a shot here.
22nd, New York Jets.
Reddick is back. You like that post, didn't you, on social media, Jack? At Ross Tucker NFL. We've talked about this before, but the Jets, the last 2 off seasons, there have been so many slow-mo videos of Aaron Rodgers walking into the facility, Aaron Rodgers walking out to practice, and especially Aaron Rodgers slow-mo passes to Garrett Wilson, like he's back, it's time. And then Aaron Rodgers slow-mo to Devontae Adams. I so badly, I don't, hey, Jets social media or Jets video guy, I swear I will Venmo you $100 if you post on social media a slow-mo video this week of Aaron Rodgers throwing a nice, beautiful spiral to Hassan Reddick and have a post like, it's go time or something like that. It would be absolutely incredible.
21st, we've got the Indianapolis Colts.
They're in a really interesting situation because they just got to go through it they're very much in the playoff race, but they just got to go through it with Richardson, even though it might cost them the playoffs. It's got to be Richardson the rest of the year to see if he can get where they're hoping he can.
Team that got the win last night, the Arizona Cardinals at 20.
The Cardinals are a yo-yo team. Remember this for the rest of the season when I'm making my picks. They're up 1 week, down the next, up 1 week, down the next. They were up last night. They'll probably be down the next.
19th is the Broncos.
How about the Broncos? Some of these teams, Broncos and Colts at 4-3. Broncos in particular, Steve Fezzik and I on the Even Money Betting podcast, him in particular was way off on the Broncos. He thought they'd be one of the 2 or 3 worst teams in the NFL. They are not.
Seattle Seahawks, 18.
Boy, that was a huge win. Moved them up a couple spots. That was an absolutely gigantic win. And not just a gigantic win, a very impressive win, I would say, by the Seahawks.
Cowboys at 17.
Had a bye. Not much to say other than, how about them Cowboys?
16th, LA Chargers.
Which one do you like better? San Diego Superchargers, San Diego Chargers. That or go Chargers, go.
I feel like the Schwarzenegger I prefer.
You don't like me singing?
It gets a little too high pitched when you do the Chargers. Your voice
I
cracks.
have the voice of an angel.
Well, I got
What
the
are you
voice of
talking
Fergie and
about?
Jesus, so
What's that?
I have the voice of Fergie and Jesus, Step Brothers.
Yeah, the Chargers, they should be better than this. I don't know that much has changed with Harbaugh. I mean, they're the type of team that loses games that they should not lose. I feel like they'll be 500 forever.
15th is the Bears.
Duh, Bears. Had a bye, not much to say.
14th is Falcons.
That was a bad loss. You know, to lose at home by 20, that's rough. Although, man, they need to win that division. Now that the Bucs lose Godwin for the year, my guess is Mike Evans is out for a couple weeks. Hey, Falcons, the Saints are beat to crap. The Carolina Panthers are terrible. The Bucs are beat up. Like, this is your year. Please go win the division. This is your year.
13th is the Niners.
It's getting ugly for them, man. We just got confirmation that Ayuk is done for the year. And as I think you posted on social media, Jack, and I'll just say on my show, at Ross Tucker NFL, this is why if you're an NFL player, and in particular in this example, Brandon Ayuk, when you have leverage, you use it, you get the life-altering contract. Would he still have been able to get a nice contract after a torn ACL? Maybe, but it's not just ACL. It's more than that. And why take a chance?
12th, Cincinnati Bengals.
So the Bengals, they're starting to come now a little bit, right? Back-to-back wins. Huge game for them against the Eagles on Sunday, right? That feels like a swing game for both those teams.
11th, Bucks.
Only dropped them a couple spots. I was a little bit concerned about their defense and the way their defense played. However, the injury to Godwin is that's going to really make it tough for Baker.
Enter the top 10 with the Steelers.
They're my biggest upgrade this week. Moving up the most in the rankings. What is it, 4 spots, 5 spots, Jack?
4 spots.
Upgrade your bathroom or entry door with West Shore Home. Get free installation for 60 months with 0% interest. Actually, it's 72 months now. 72 months, I think, through the election with 0% interest plus an up to $1,500 off when you visit westshorehome.com/Ross. That is back-to-back wins by the Steelers of like 20 points. And they definitely have a better offense with Russell Wilson in there because of his ability to give the ball to his receivers when they're in one-on-one situations. Freiermuth, Pickens. Russell Wilson is going to throw it up and give those guys a chance to make the plays, and they were rewarded. I still think, though, when they get inside the 10, they should put Justin Fields in and have a package for him because of his running threat.
9th, staying in PA with the Eagles.
So really nice win for them. Enough on offense, dominant on defense. Really, they've been dominant on defense 2 weeks in a row. Can they do it against the Bengals, though? That'll be a much tougher task.
8th, Green Bay Packers.
Dun, 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 dun. Go, Pack, go. Really nice win for them. I don't know that it changed how I feel about them or the Texans. In fact, the Vikings and Lions switched, but most of these teams are about the same as last week.
7th is the Texans.
Right, wait, what? The Packers just beat them. Yeah, dude, it was a neutral site game. I'm sorry, it was a game in Green Bay. What I'm telling you is a neutral site, Wichita, Kansas. I still think I would take the Texans in a best of 7 series, although it's close. It is.
6th, Bills.
Not much to say there. I mean, they had a nice win, but it was against a bad team. It wasn't enough for me to move them up.
5th is the Washington Commanders.
Jaden Daniels, week to week, they're saying, with this rib injury, I think everybody really wants to see him on Sunday against the Bears. We'll see. I think the Commanders will absolutely exercise caution with that guy.
4th is the Minnesota Vikings.
The Minnesota Vikings. So the Minnesota Vikings, that was, I would say, almost an expected loss, right? I mean, they're not going to go undefeated. Lions are good. So it was fine. I mean, they still did some positive things. It was the defense, I think, that would be concerning, the way they could not slow down the Lions.
The aforementioned Lions are 3rd.
Well, maybe this will slow down the Lions. Jamison Williams suspended 2 games under the PED policy. His second suspension in the NFL. He had the gambling suspension as well. So that's not good, Jamison. I mean, multiple suspensions already. Not what you're looking for. And he's obviously a very important part of what they do on offense.
2nd, Baltimore Ravens.
They moved up ahead of the Vikings. Lions moved up as well. Ravens still not quite where they would like to be on defense. But, man, that offense is firing on all cylinders. Looking forward to seeing them in person on Sunday.
And number 1, per usual, is the Kansas City Chiefs.
Unbelievable. And the home of the Chiefs. Although they got another bad injury, Jack. Jalen Watson, fractured ankle for them. So he's probably done for the year. He's a starting corner. So that's a big loss. Spagnuolo will probably figure it out. They got other guys like Josh Williams, but it's still a pretty big loss. Make sure you check out today's Even Money podcast. Steve and I both had a big week betting the NFL. We are on a roll, and we are also done here.
Thanks for tuning in to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. Make sure to also check out Even Money, Fantasy Feast, and College Draft, all on the DraftKings Network, YouTube, or subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform.
Shout out myfrontpagestory.com. You want to be a absolutely no-brainer winner in life? Number 1, go to myfrontpagestory.com and get a loved one a story written all about them, which is awesome. And then number 2, I will give you a signed autograph, which is also pretty cool. A signed picture, or if you prefer a press pass, you'll get that. Pizza Boy Brewing, Sporticulture, HumanHeadNYC.com, BackOfficeScheduler.com.